festive weekend here in Tucson. It's a super Wildcat weekend. Spring playing out in the background, people enjoying rides, and a chance to watch a little big-time college football as well as the Wildcats blue against the white getting ready here in Tucson. Rich Cellini along with the University of Arizona alum Glenn Parker, welcome. Rich Rod now in his 4th season, just got that wrapped up for spring here in Tucson. Expectations high, success very much last year winning the South, and a lot of big things and positive things going on this spring as well.
Well, absolutely. When Rich Rod came here, he said, why not Arizona? And all he's done is gone about making that happen. He got here, they've gotten better year after year. Their tempo has gotten better year after year. It showed up last season with all of the wins. There's a lot of expectation, a lot of anticipation right now in this town, and it's been another good spring for him. I think everybody's pretty excited.
As the nature of college football, you'll obviously lose some guys, but he does have some very nice pieces coming back as well.
Yeah, obviously it starts with the new Solomon, but when you look down that list, Nick Wilson, the running back, very strong season last year. A leader in Cayman Bundage. Caleb Jones, huge wide receiver. At the very bottom, Jacob Alsadek came in as a freshman, did a nice job for him, looking to build on his success.
And Devontae Neal's going to switch over and play a little defense, but New Solomon burst onto the scene a season ago.
He set records for Arizona, and he did it by first grasping the offense and understanding what was expected of him, having a nice touch on the ball, whether it be short passes, long passes, and then understanding when he could take off and run, when he had to go, and of course making the big time play when he had to.
On the other side of the ball, of course, it begins with Scooby Wright. He led the nation with 163 tackles last year and collected all the hard work. But he's not the only big-time player coming back.
Not at all. Will Parks in the secondary at the bottom there. Derek Churichuri is a guy I think coaches think is really ready to step up and be the next Scooby Wright. And Parker Zellers, undersized kid. But it really is the story of Scooby Wright. Here's a kid who got so many awards and well-deserved awards. He is a playmaker across the field. He can run from sideline to sideline and will. He attacks the quarterback with a total aggression. He never stops. He's got a motor that goes, and he constantly tries to get better.
Third member of our broadcast team, Jill Savage. She's standing by with head coach Rich Rodriguez.
Thanks, Rich. Coach, besides running out of popsicles for the first time, how has the spring been for you?
It's been a good spring. I think we've got some things accomplished, teaching some of the young guys and even some of the veterans some new skills and trying to evaluate our guys and see who can help us in the fall, and been pretty productive.
You're going to be going through a lot of situational drills today. What are you looking for?
Well, obviously for our guys, we do situational drills every day in practice, but we don't always go live. This is only the 3rd time we've really done a kind of a live scrimmage. So see how our guys respond to that, put some young guys under some pressure situations, and then more than anything, let them have some fun.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Jill. Thank you.
Indeed, the headman is having fun. We'll come back to the University of Arizona, blue versus the white, coming up next on the Pac-12 Networks.
They're not engineered for 300-pound people.
We're going to have some scoring here today. Obviously, by the offense, fairly straightforward. You get 1 point for a first down, 6 for your touchdown. Field goals or worst 3. Penalties on either side result in 1 point for your opponent. But the defense can score some points as well.
Well, first off, I love the penalties being a point, discipline. And defense scores points. Touchdown, obviously, 4th down stop. But hey, if you hold them to a field goal, you're going to get that point. Love that. Get a sack. Tackles for loss. Even scoring for both sides. They both have opportunities. It's going to be exciting.
It is going to be fun, and that's one of the things when you talk to Coach Rodriguez. I know you spend a lot of time. You live here in town, and you're alum of the program, that he likes to play up-tempo. He likes to have fun, and he didn't, mince any of those words in our conversations with him that we're going to put people in pressure situations. You heard him tell Jill. But this is about having fun and getting better and seeing who can do what.
The thing about Rich Rod is, and he comes off as a guy who's enjoying himself, having fun, and you take a look right there, Pac-12 Coach of the Year last year. But underlying that is a grinder, a guy who will work and work and work and expect that from his players, and that's where that tempo comes in. And he's done a great job of putting that into play.
Thought he had some interesting things to say about teaching kids tempo and how fast things were going to be when he and his staff came in here, and said it wasn't that nobody wanted to go with us or they didn't want to do it. They just didn't have the gas to go as fast as needed to be. And he said, I'll tell them, listen, we have an hour and 40 minutes of work to do. If you get it done
in an hour and a half, we'll go in early. But if it takes you 2 hours, then so be it.
Yeah, you have a set schedule. That's what you're going to work on. And you give them that. And there's Coach Rich Rodriguez getting the 2014 Pac-12 Coach of the Year trophy. That's a proud moment for any coach, I'm sure.
Certainly had some big wins last year. Exciting ones here.
It was an exciting season for Arizona fans and the alumni. Just to see him come back, and he's done a great job here bringing the community in involvement to the program.
Look at that, a pair of 8 and 5s, and then the 10 and 4, and some, the great win. You called the one here, the Heartstopper against Cal. You knock off Oregon, get vaulted into the top 10. You win Coach of the Year award. He's, was a big-time winner at West Virginia. Had, not as exactly great run at Michigan by any stretch of the imagination, but this place fits him.
Well, I think for him, it's you got to give any coach time to work, and where he's been given that time, he's done well. Mm-hmm. And he has a way of doing things and a way of looking at talent and players that maybe is just a little different than others. And what he's been able to do here fits that very well.
In the spring and all the practices that you watch as we're going to get ready to get this thing going in earnest now. Solomon giving high five to his offensive linemen, that people that have, didn't pop out when you watched the first, second practice, but when you got into the double digits, you thought, well, there's somebody who's probably going to have an impact coming up this year.
Well, I'd say Turi, the linebacker, he's played a lot. He's a returning starter, but just was the next level this year. Just watching him out there, he's become something different. Another guy who looks great getting off the bus and also happens to be that next level look is Freddie Tagaloa, the left tackle, number 72. You're going to see him a lot. He's a beast, and he wants to get better. He wants it. You can tell by watching his work ethic.
And there we go, situations. Well, right now, the first-team offense against the second-team defense.
And really, the thing to look for in these games is obviously tempo from the offense. It's base offense, base defense. So are they playing fast? Are they making the right decisions? And are they playing hard? Are they going through the motions, or are they trying to make plays? And that's where you'll see the coaches get upset when guys don't hustle when it's a simple offense.
Pass complete to Jones, transfer from Texas, had over 1,000 yards receiving last year. The Wildcats. And Solomon, another little flip. And there's a piece of the offense that, they'd like to get incorporated a little bit more this season. They've talked a lot about the tight ends as Kern makes the catch.
Well, a good tight end, and no matter what system you use other than, 5 wides, is he helps your offensive line because he can block, but he helps your offensive line because he's an outlet. So you end up getting less sacks, and he helps your quarterback because he's something there for him, a comfort zone. He knows he's got that. Teams would run with tight ends, and we see you right again to Josh Kern. Teams that can utilize a tight end in different ways, they put so much pressure on defenses.
No, you've seen that at a variety of levels, and it's funny how things evolve in the game about pieces that come and go. Tight end, really important at some points, and then people get away from it. Fullback, obviously, something that comes and goes with a variety of offense. Defense currently in blue, offense in the white, except for, of course, quarterbacks who will wear that nice, bright Arizona red.
The Cardinal, as it's called. It is, you're right, there's positions that come and go based on whatever's in vogue, but what never goes out of vogue is a good football player. Right. So that guy who's a fullback becomes a linebacker because, hey, no one's using the fullback anymore, but defenses are finding ways to incorporate that player. So a good football player doesn't go out of style. It just, he might change positions a little bit.
Kern with another one, and then we'll go to the sideline. Trevor Wood will come in at the tight end spot. So good drive to get this going for the first-team offense for the Wildcats. And Solomon, little play action and flip, another one to the tight end. So there you go. You talk about getting them involved. They weren't kidding.
Well, you think about what you face as a defense. Now, you've got a zone read concept, so you've got to play that quarterback. Your tight end is now in coverage. Are you using a safety against him? Are you using a linebacker? That puts pressure on that defense, and now you run him to the boundary. It's hard to get out there on him. You've got a natural, for the quarterback, a natural throwing lane that opens up an easy throw for him.
Jared Baker, senior running back out of Los Angeles, and another guy that, there's guys on a team. Hey, look, everybody's not best friends, Glenn. There's just not the reality of it. But there are guys on teams that are almost universally liked and respected, and he's one of them that everybody seems to be pulling for.
Yeah. Fastest kid out there too. I mean, he's breakaway speed. Baker can get going, man. He can run. It's you're right. Everybody likes that guy. He's a good locker room presence.
Good view, I think coaches like. There's a little bobble. Solomon gets back, a little flip out, drive toward the goal line.
That's what the coaches love about Anu Solomon. They a little bit unflappable, a little stoic. That very much that what people talk about with Marcus Mariota.
Sure.
Not overly excited. There's trouble there. He doesn't worry. Makes the right play.
Getting off to a good start, in any job, in any career, nice little breakaway right there. Is Baker able to slip the tackle and get in, and that'll be more points for the White. But you think that, there's a kid in Anu Solomon, comes back, take another look at the touchdown first.
Well, Baker, what you like is he keeps his feet moving. Now, if you're a coach, it's your own team, so you're a little disconcerted that it wasn't wrapped up and tackled. So there's a good and a bad on every play in this scrimmage.
If you're the head guy, you're never happy. But if you're on one side of the ball or the other, you can be happy.
You can be happy for your guys, yeah. You can do that.
But, let's go back to your start. So Solomon comes in last year, has a decent spring game, wins the starting job, and then you come out and your college debut is against your hometown team, UNLV. You're from Las Vegas. And you come out and light it up. What does that do confidence-wise to think that, hey, I belong. I can play this game?
Obviously there's that. His confidence soars. But here's a kid who ran a similar offense in high school. He got to sit and watch for a year and learn the next level of this offense. Because, you go to high school to college, that level of complexity jumps. So he got to learn that. There's a lot to be said for watching and learning. And we don't see, unfortunately, not enough kids get that chance. If they don't start, they switch schools. You got to develop. And he did a nice job of taking that year and developing. Of course, we got a new quarterback in Jared Randall.
And Randall, the senior, Hollywood, Florida. And the tempo is one piece. You're right. And there's not a lot of patience in any sport anymore, and people moving on, and not a lot of guys stick around. And, that had been a problem, and then you see what happened at Florida State when they won a national championship, and other guys in their first year. That makes it hard on coaches, makes it hard on players, and everybody thinks that it should be instant.
Yeah, people think, what they get used to too is, okay, we watch basketball, one great recruit, and I change my program. It doesn't happen that way in football. There's too many great recruits. Now, if you're looking at this score and you're at home, you're looking going 18-6. If you get a first down on offense, you get a point. There's 1 point there. So we showed the scoring and how they're doing this, and you see Randall, good legs,
nice
understand
arm.
it, jump off. Not a bad arm. Yeah, he just, unfortunately, there was no real estate for him to throw into because that safety was closing. So that's a tough throw to make.
Mendeville out there, third down and short. They'll try to stretch it, and they'll be able to get the corner and pick up the first down. Hayden with the carry. So the first spot seems to be, in really good shape right now as we're looking at second string offense against the first team D. How about the battle for that second slot in the quarterback depth chart?
Well, I think it's heated up all spring, and the fact that we're seeing Jared Randall probably tells us quite a bit. Good legs, can run, strong arm, very strong arm. I think right there you point and say, all right, that ball had a lot on it. Can he learn a little more touch on his throws? I think that'll be important. He certainly seems to understand, watching him in practices, understand the offense, at least what they've asked him to do so far.
Now the four-wide set. Going to look off one and thread it. Boy, that fastball on that one. A nice completion right down the seam. And the second-string offense right now getting some things done. Is Ellison able to haul it in and get positive yardage?
Yeah, where he threw that ball, you might think, oh, it's almost too late. Safety takes a little bit of a bad angle, breaks open, and they get running.
To the ground on first down. Not much doing there. Nice read by the interior D. Good day when you can stand in the middle of the field and coach in shorts.
Yeah, that's the old Pueblo's not bad for that kind of weather.
Beautiful. Mid-80s today. Just about right.
You see they're constantly, of course, Rich Rod now, he's constantly involved. He's right behind that quarterback by 7 yards, and he's involved.
Pull it back, survey, and tipped away incomplete. Good play by the D.
Yeah, a good play by the D, and what I liked was the receiver trying to keep himself open, running with the quarterback. Not a bad throw, just not much space to throw it in.
Cam Denson able to swat that one away.
Cam Denson's a good story for the Wildcats. A local kid, has started to show up quite a bit. Coaches seem to think he's got something going.
I'm going to give him a sack on that. That'll be a couple more points. Well, they had to be in the tackle box. They got a point for the batted down and then shooting right up the middle. DeAndre Miller. Yep. And so 20-10. There we go, back to special teams.
So they hold him to a field goal. This will be 1 point for the defense and possible 3 for the offense at this point.
Oh, good leg. And he is good. It's a not bad for a second-string offense against the first-string defense here in Tucson, Arizona. Spring football, guys getting in some pretty good situations, and Coach always working that microphone and working that pen. Last year's Pac-12 Coach of the Year, Rich Rodriguez, continuing to build here in Tucson.
You're not going up in that either, partner?
No.
Is that our Jill Savage up in there? No, she's down on the field. Jill, what do you have?
Oh, Rich, I wouldn't be out there doing that. We're here talking with Nick Wilson. I know you weren't in any contact drills this spring, but how overall do you think that spring practice has gone?
I think spring practice went really well. We got a lot of good playing out of players we wasn't expecting. Some from others we were expecting, like Jared Baker had an amazing spring. Scooby, of course, and a lot of the gray shirt kids, especially kids from Fresno with Devon and Cherie. And it's been a really good spring so far.
Well, you mentioned Jared Baker. I imagine that you had a pretty good view of the running backs. Who besides Baker looked good?
Baker, Zach Green actually looks pretty good. Jonathan Hayden's looked really well. We got a few walk-ons that look really well. We got a walk-on from Japan who's pretty cool. Yeah, that's my boy. But he's doing really good, and everybody's doing really well. I was very impressed this spring.
I heard you say that you're a hardened freshman. You don't like that freshman title anymore, do you?
Yeah, because there's a few different levels to the freshman, and I feel like I kind of at least deserve a little. I don't know, maybe like a little rank above like the true freshman, but I get treated still like a freshman, but people just know me, so it's whatever.
Well, we'll be excited to see you back out there come fall camp. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Rich?
Thank you, Jill. Back here in Tucson, the University of Arizona, blue versus white. So from deep in their own territory, Solomon comes out gunning, Glenn.
Well, yeah, the coming out drill is very important. So this is 1 offense, 2 defense. You start on your own 2, and he gets right out, throws into space, makes a good throw, and now they're out of the shadow of their goalpost. That's what you want to see, a quick decision, know where you got to go with that ball, and get yourself out of that spot.
A nice interview with Nick Wilson and what he has meant to this team, and you think of those key pieces coming back, your running back and now your quarterback, going to be sophomores this next year. I mean, those are some big-time performances.
Yeah, well, 2 years ago with Kadeem Carey lighting it on fire, and everybody thought, it was going to go downhill. I think fans, pundits said, well, who's going to replace him? Sure. And all of a sudden you get that production out of a kid. You don't forget a Kadeem Carey, but it's certainly made for that season that they had.
Well, that's one of the fun parts of this part of the season, is trying to figure out who are going to be the difference makers moving forward as Jones makes a nice catch. And, last year is just that last year, so you really turn that page when you get into spring and start figuring out who are going to have to be the people who can move forward and play more of a starring role instead of just a supporting one. Yeah,
and what you get is you got guys on your depth chart, they're stepping up. You know they're penciled in to be your guy. And one of those guys is Freddie Tagaloa, the left tackle I told you about, number 72. But it's, can you find maybe somebody you weren't expecting who can step up, but then also can you find a backup? Can you find a guy that was maybe a red shirt last year, or he didn't play at all, and he was nothing, and he put his nose to the grindstone, he lifted hard, he did all the things he was supposed to do. Now in spring he shows up, you're like, hey, this is a different kid. I got a kid now who I can count on to make the traveling squad and be a backup for me. Those are the type of things you look for in spring.
Swing out to Zach Green.
I'll tell you what, they're popping out there. The spring ball is still violent. Zach Green's a guy that a lot of people are waiting on to come up. He's got a lot of weight on him. I tell you, watch him in practice. He makes great reads. He's got a good first cut. There's a little bit of a lack of speed, probably because of the weight he's using. But you know what? He's that guy that can get you 1 or 2. He's going to get you 1 or 2 when you need it, probably more. I think a lot of fans are still waiting on his coming out party.
And how many times, back to your point about the backups and people that, have to come in and not play a starring role throughout the season, but just spell somebody, as Tyrell Johnson with the last carry. And think of how important that person is. You go back to, obviously this is a town that, loves their Wildcats and football, and also obviously on the hardwood. But, I just think of, what happened in the national championship game in basketball about a kid who didn't do much of anything ends up leading Duke to a national championship. And that's a great example for no matter what sport you play.
That's right. Kids need to understand this. And here's a nice replay. You get to see Tyrell Johnson, little fly sweep pitch type that they do with him. Get him out there. He's got speed, got a little wiggle. Put him out there.
Flag down, so they're going to move that one back. Go ahead.
That's all right. It didn't count, but it's still a good play.
Flag goes against Jones.
But going back to your point, it's the kid who says, the problem is this. A lot of kids think, well, it's never going to be me.
Right.
I'm just doing my job out here. You have to be ready when the play calls your number. And when it does, that's your chance to shine. And a lot of people have become instant stars because they were ready when that time came.
Oh, Solomon up high on that one. And Kern took a blast.
Yeah, that's what happens when you hang a guy out just a little bit. And that's what happened. That ball's high. That safety is flying over there. Brandon Rutt, I believe, is the safety that made the hit. Oh, no, I take that back. I apologize. That's Devin Brewer. And Devin Brewer had a target, and he went for it.
Brewer, a freshman from Fresno. Fresno's been a pretty good recruiting ground for the Wildcats. Have a number of talented players from the Central Valley.
And you see what they're doing right here. Tyrell Johnson gets through on a mismatch. Hey, the green light's on. You know what that means? We're going full speed, boys. They go red light. Hey, we're taking a break. Hey, yellow light. Hey, we're moving a little slower. It could be, half speed tempo. Green light's on. We go. You got to get moving. Let's go.
Are we going to change that at all, or is it green throughout?
It's going to be green a lot.
A lot of green.
A lot of green today.
A long light, says Glenn Parker. Solomon hanging one up. One-handed attempt, almost brought in. Couldn't quite hold it at the end. And Richards down there, finally broken up the last second.
So this ball's pretty well thrown. Richards is a big back, but a really good job of defense, staying in his way, not making contact. Now, if Richards just stops completely and gets run into, probably a flag. In season, that might be a flag. But I like that defense. I thought that was a pretty good job by Jace Whitaker.
Quick slip out to the right side. Phillips hauls it in and dances forward.
I think if you're an Arizona fan now, when you're watching this offensive line, you need to pay attention to some new guys in there. You've got a right tackle, Lenny Maiva, who was not there. Fabian Zabelli graduated. You've got Freddie Tagallo, your left tackle, because Mickey Bacchus graduated. You still have Alsadek and Bundage, your two guards, but you've got a new center, and center is everything on your offensive line. Carter Woods up there battling right now, so they're trying to figure out their guys, and that's going to mean everything for their rushing game moving forward, their pass protection moving forward. There's Lenny Maiva, big, strong kid, trying to settle into one position. He's kind of played a few over his time at the U.
Glenn, we've worked together throughout the years, and one of the points you've made is that finding that offensive line isn't necessarily about the 5 best guys. It's the 5 guys who work best together.
That's right. Yeah, that's absolutely right. And obviously I'm an offensive lineman. I like to talk about them and their importance, but think about it. It's half your offense is one position group. One position. That's a beautiful throw and catch.
And Richards able to walk it in.
The first-string offenses look good.
They've looked sharp. They're obviously making the right reads. They've protected the quarterback. They've run the ball well when they have. But what you see, efficiency. And whatever you talk about offense, you talk, are they efficient? So they're not having a lot of plays of negative types. That's just a beautiful throw and catch. It could have probably been a little ahead of him. But Anu Solomon with a nice one there. Offense is looking good right now. And you see how big David Richards is. You see him in the weight room, he looks like a tight end.
6'4", 213.
And Jacob Alsinick there, blood all over his nose, number 78.
It's not a bad look.
I call him the Big Turk. He has blood on his nose every practice.
Arizona spring football, Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker. A beautiful night here in Tucson, and offensively, Rich Rodriguez and company getting it done. First string offense has been very sharp. Dawkins now in at quarterback, and from the shadow of the goalpost tries to complete one. Scoring for both sides. Take a look offensively. 1 for the first down. Touchdown is 6. Field goal for 3. Penalty on either side will give your opponent a point, and defensively you can rack up some points as well.
Yeah, you obviously touchdowns and stops and 3 and outs, those are all big. I like holding the field goal. You get a point for that because that's really what it means in the game of football. You hold someone to that it feels like a touchdown, you get them to only take 3, you've won that battle.
Players excited. You do so many situational pieces, so much practice, but then you finally get in some game situations, hit somebody and tackle, and I think that ratcheted up the excitement for all the kids.
That and the fact that they get to be in the stadium, fans get to come watch. It feels more like a game. Brandon Dawkins takes a little bit of a shot there. Fans get to come watch. Spring Fling's going on, so when they're done here, they get a chance. They can go over and enjoy Spring Fling, which is a huge student-run carnival on campus where the students kind of run everything other than the rides themselves, and it's a big deal. They get to go out there with their friends. So this is kind of a neat event for every football team in spring. They get their chance to be around the fans, have a little fun, because spring's a grind. There's no light at the end of the tunnel.
No game at the end of the week? Just
no game.
A whole set of practices.
No vacation because you're still in school. It gets tough. Brandon Dawkins showed a little wiggle. Keeps that on the zone read. Gets through.
Second offense versus first defense. You don't need to see a lot out of your stars in the spring game. Guys that you know what they can do, you don't need to see that. You need to find out what the other guys can do and who can be the guys who, as you mentioned, can play a backup role and somebody who can come in and figure out, when the season gets going for real, that are these people who deserve a shot.
Yeah, so it's one thing we talk about guys that left, right? And you have the known quantity guys that are already here. Guys that leave, okay, I got this guy's going to fill that job. You got to find that backup because you're one play from needing him to start for you. So you got to find that next level guy that can be a backup for you and a possible starter.
And throughout the season, so many times you see that you get into that position and you'll end up being that person for maybe a month until somebody gets healthy. Maybe you're there for the rest of the season. I mean, it's a piece.
Maybe you'll Wally Pippen and you stay forever.
Nobody stays forever in college, Glenn.
Some wish they could.
I know.
Let me tell you right
understand. Understood.
I went back and I stayed as long as possible. They kicked me out with a degree, though.
Oh, they said you can't take any more classes.
If you're
Here's
done,
your degree.
You're closing in on 50. You got to get out of here. Wow, that's a big shot. How about Tellis Jones?
Yeah, Jones coming in, lowering it. Oof.
And when you hit a guy like that, I mean, that's not an easy hit. Now, you'd love to see him wrap up. I'm an old school guy. I want to see more wrap up. But that's a big duty he's hitting in Darryl Cloy Jr. The kid's, 6'2", 255, and to knock him off his feet like that, you brought a little something.
Hayden with the carry and sweep around. All right, Len, let's visit with Jill Savage.
Well, thank you so much. Here with Scooby Wright, and I know You don't really like talking about all of the awards that you got, but how's it been with your teammates? What are they telling you about all those awards?
I mean, football's a team game, so they feel like they're a part of it and stuff. But a lot of my good friends and stuff and close teammates, they've been giving me some grief, but it's all love though. So.
Couple jabs here and there throughout spring ball. It's probably pretty good for you. Now, what do you want to focus in on? I know that you said, crazy as it is, that you don't think that you had a good season last year. So what are you trying to improve on?
I mean, I think there's just stuff I could get better at. I mean, I'm one of those guys who looks at the things I could have done better instead of things I did right. So, I mean, just getting my eyes right and just getting more comfortable in the system and just having it be second nature.
What are you looking at as the defense progresses throughout this season? I know that when Jeff Castile and the group came in, they were really low on numbers on the defensive side. How are you guys adjusting with that? And I know Rich Rod said he wants to get up to 22. Where are you guys in that rotation?
I mean, I think we're getting up there. I mean, we got some guys stepping up, and we have some good guys coming in. So I think it'll be interesting to see when we get back to fall camp.
You look at this, the final part of spring practice now. Heading into the summer, What are you trying to work on?
Just having fun and just getting back into the weight room and just playing football, and that's always fun.
Thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
Rich, a man of few words, but certainly good on the field.
Oh, Jill, maybe a few words, but a lot of tackles. You see those numbers, 163 total led the NCAA, 29 for loss, first in college football last year, 14 sacks. I mean, if that's not a very good year, I don't know what a good year looks like, Glenn. That's his. You love his humility, but that was a monster season.
Yeah, he just showed up across the college football landscape. And the thing about him, you talk about, yes, he's not effusive with his words, but I'll tell you a story. They lose in the Pac-12 championship game, and everyone wants to be the guy they talk to when you win. When you lose, nobody does. He was one guy that talked afterwards.
Says a lot, especially in a tough time. We'll take a break, come back with more from Arizona.
A man of few words, but boy, don't let him get a beat on you.
Well, he's a man of big plays. He shows up all over the field, just side to side, getting after it. Of course, that's the Scooby strip where he effectively ended the game against Oregon in a very big upset, obviously. But he's when you look at all those awards he got, all that hardware, one thing in common all those names have: Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, yeah.
Hall of Fame.
Nagurski, Lombardi, Bednarik, Lambert.
That's a good set of awards when you're a college football player.
Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. Wow. The first underclassman ever to win that award.
And Jeff Castile, the defensive coordinator, that he's couldn't be happier with what he picked up. This is a kid that they call him two-star Scooby, because and that's kind of like his Twitter thing. He makes fun of it. He was a two-star recruit.
Right.
They'll tell you when they saw him, they're like, this kid can play football. We love him. They were on him early, and they got him. And it goes to show you that playing with a chip on your shoulder, calls himself two-star, you love that. But that star system doesn't mean a lot when it comes to being on this field.
Turning starters defensively, right? Obviously the headliner, but there are some other impact players as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's a couple guys on the list. Parker Zellers. That kid is undersized, playing nose, and just makes plays. Derek Churichuri, I tell you, he's coming into his own. The coaches absolutely love what he's done so far this spring. I mean, he's always been good, but they think he's going to the next level with his spring the way he is. Strong as an Oxford, one of the stronger, if not the strongest player overall on the team.
Solomon back running the Wildcat offense, and they haven't done much wrong here tonight.
And that's what you love right there. That's a kid who's starting to mature. Nothing there. Don't take a bad throw. Get out of trouble, live to play another day. And so many kids would look to make a throw they think they can make. I got to impress the coach. He knows he's the starter. He's not trying to impress the coach. He's just going to go out there and make the play. And you see it's first offense versus first defense right now. Things start tightening up a little bit.
Stick saying 2nd down and 10. And Solomon, for all the things that he's been able to do, also has a very nice arm. Grant with the catch on the sideline. So, I mean, there's when you think about, who's coming back as an impact quarterback, you go to Kessler at SC, Goff at Cal, obviously. Solomon, those are three really to put a spotlight on.
No doubt about it. Programs that won a lot of games, quarterbacks coming back that have a lot of talent with big numbers. You forgot, Kevin Hogan. There's
Kevin
another
Hogan,
one
absolutely,
coming back.
He sometimes gets overlooked just in your mind because if you're going to play at Stanford, your numbers aren't going to be as big as the other guys who are putting up really prolific numbers in these offenses. Stanford with more of a traditional old school approach to football.
Yeah, I would totally be lying if I didn't say that I love watching Stanford football.
Oh, you know what? There's a lot of people who say what you just said, that no, it's old school. And to the credit of the Cardinal and David Shaw, and I know after this one you'll be up there for a spring game tomorrow with Jill, that that piece of it is also utilizing what they have talent-wise.
Yeah, first off, everything old is new again. There's nothing new under the sun. Running the zone read is just a way of running the option. Running up tempo, hey, Buffalo Bills ran no huddle for years.
Yes, you did.
With a lot of up tempo. That's all we did. What is everybody not doing, and we're going to do that. Stanford made the decision. Everybody's up tempo. Everybody's got all these athletes. We're not going to do that, and we can't. Like you said, that's not who they have on their roster. They started identifying under Coach Harbaugh. What do they recruit well? They recruit offense, defensive line, tight ends, quarterback, and safeties. All right, that's what we're going with.
Now Baker got it down to the goal line and then got the opportunity again. Nice drive to get it in right there. And then, the neat part, I think, of this conference, and the difficult part is for your defensive coordinator, is think about going through the schedule and looking at all the different things you're going to see offensively. And for Arizona, one thing that jumps out, there are no bye weeks in there.
No bye weeks. 12 straight. Yeah, I think Coach Rodriguez might have a beef with that. But if you look, UCLA, Noel Mazzoni's offense, horizontal, throwing the ball out to the perimeter. Stanford's coming at you with tight ends. They're going to run, guys down the field.
Oregon State will be new with Gary Anderson.
A new one with Gary Anderson. They're going to have Storm Woods. You can go on and on. Peterson at Washington's a different offense. Sarkisian at USC, it's a different offense. Utah is a hybrid that does so many different things.
Right.
You are facing a new style and a new type of offense and quarterback every week, and it's got to be mind-bending for a defensive coordinator.
Well, it's mind-bending for the guys who've done it for a couple decades as a coordinator. How about the kids who are coming in? And then you have to think that, from a teaching standpoint, let's figure out how we can get whatever the essential information is to our kids as we play this offense this week.
Yeah,
read there by the D.
Can we distill it down? Can we get them to just play fast and play with a clear head? Because the more they're thinking about, the slower they play, and now you have problems. And right there is Big Rod Smith, one of the offensive. They have co-offensive coordinators here, Calvin McGee and Rod Smith.
Well, that's so much of Coach Rodriguez there in the shot had talked about. We want to get guys in position. Almost intercepted. And a missed opportunity right there by, is that McCall or Lopez? Anthony Lopez just couldn't get it.
Yeah, Randall never saw him. Stared down his wide receiver, never saw Lopez, the safety, come up, invert, and be right where he was waiting on that ball.
Dropped a point there, Glenn.
Dropped a point. But it's third down. They can pick up one here with a stop.
Now 13 to move chains. Tipped the line of scrimmage and incomplete. So defense can get a point for forcing that 3 and out. So Randall almost had one picked and then has one tipped at the line.
You see Rich Roddy's walking back. He's talking to his son. Now right to his left is his son. And that's why he's kind of talking with him. Probably giving him some pointers, what he should be looking for. There's his son, Rhett Rodriguez, quarterback at a local high school here in town.
So on 4th down, complete the pass, but well short of the first down, 5 yards short.
So now a 4th down stop, that's more points. So it wasn't a 3 and out, it was 4th down stop. So they got the point that way. Got 2 for that.
Yeah, bump them up to 26.
Now Dawkins, you'll notice he doesn't wear the red jersey. he's free game out there because, you know, he's a young guy, and he's taken some really big shots already today. He probably wants the red jersey on now.
Well, that's not fair, Glenn. I need the red jersey. I'm going to go be his rep and go down there and say, listen,
you
need the red jersey. Get down there and tell him, look, you got the wrong color on.
Now, looking at these kids running out, you know, you start looking at this offensive line here. Alex Kaczynski, number 74, he'll graduate high school in June. He would have graduated high school, but he's here early. Jordan Poland, number 71, right tackle. Big kid, hardly played high school football. Good recruit for them. Coming in, he's just learning the game. So they've got a lot of potential in second and third teamers coming through their group.
And, you know, you hope as you get into, you know, season number 4 and culture and all the things you want to build as a coach that, you know, the old guys help the young guys, but they also take care of their own business, and then those who need to learn more we can spend more time with and teach more when we really get going, because you know, the old guys, you've got to be self-sustaining in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and you know what, it's so hard on coaches in these days because they're so limited with how much time they get with kids. So it's very hard to teach enough fundamentals to kind of cover ground that might have been missed in high school. So you're right, if they can get one group playing really well and sustaining themselves, then they can spend a little more time with that next group.
Well, you said it's fair game, and so that's inside the tackle box. That'll be another point for the defense. The D, who was way back early, starting to make a climb back as we get to third string versus third string. Nice closing speed by Hamlet, linebacker spot, the freshman from right here in Tucson, to make the sack.
Yeah, and what you saw there out of Dawkins, didn't really have awareness, didn't see where that was coming from. As you learn, one thing quarterbacks need to learn, but every player needs to learn, is to expand their mental bubble beyond just what they have to do. You've got to start looking at all the other guys out there on defense, and are they giving you signs that can help you narrow down the options that they can do against you? And that's when you become a better player.
And maybe no position more important than the one under center, that having to have that understanding of everybody.
Yeah, and not just everybody on your offense. You got to understand, okay, what are the safeties doing? If I have a safety rolled over the top covering somebody, what's that mean for the defense? The defense just doesn't do things. They do them with a purpose and a reason. And so for fans, you know, defense is low and we have a bubble and it's, oh, get out of the way, everybody.
And it's a track meet. Now we got a punch out the other way, but the defense is going to be able to collect on that as Marcus Griffin was out in front, streaking to the end zone.
And I love the fact that Dawkins made Brandon Dawkins a quarterback. This is a bobble. It's on him, obviously, because it's, you know, zone read. He's the one that comes back and smacks that ball out to make the strip. They don't get it back, but I like that hustle. And this would be great because we should see everybody scatter when this big body Griffith comes running at us. There's shadows everywhere. People are running.
And they're closing fast. All right, we'll step aside. Coach Rodriguez with a little positive encouragement for Brandon Dawkins. 10-point game. Super Wildcat weekend. Spring football, obviously, here. We also have track and field tomorrow. Softball against Washington. Men's tennis. We got Oregon and Washington in this weekend as well. So anything you want around the University of Arizona. Great weekend, a lot of fun. And the offense of Coach Rodriguez, Solomon back in. Last time we were looking at third stringers, and Solomon now hand off to Baker, and Baker explodes through for some positive yardage, but here's Solomon now working on some overtime play, and Solomon with a nice little read and a touchdown. Good job by the D to read that one. And Brewer, the cornerback, up with the easy two-handed touch. Always so many of these college football games coming down to just a handful of plays, and the game really has grown through the years with the implementation of overtime, and we have seen some classic finishes through the years. There's Solomon, some nice hands, controlling the tip and a little roll out, and really one of his favorite targets tonight. has been the tight end, Josh Kern. San Antonio, Texas. Play from the sideline, working on some overtime work here. Second down, 11 according to the sticks. And then they'll do the empty backfield, 5 wide receivers, and clutch pump fake, and good strong body and hands by David Richards.
What's that? Oh, gotcha. Hello.
Glenn Parker has made his way down to the field. Arizona alum. He might get out there and try to block somebody. Solomon with all day. Now running out of time. Escapes and floats one out of bounds along the sideline. So there's your explanation. No intentional grounding, and Coach Rodriguez to his quarterback. Two incomplete on third down. Their special teams opportunity, and they had worked on a little late arrival coming in. And they'll get set. Skowron in that battle. We saw 4 kickers going to work when we first got started here, and Skowron able to knock that one through. 49-36. And here's Glenn.
Well, good to see you. Now talk to me about, so far, what have you seen? What have you really been happy with?
Nobody's getting carted off the field. That's good. Intensity's been okay. I think our tackling's been okay. A couple poor decisions by the quarterback, a couple good decisions. So it's good and bad, a typical spring game. We've got about 75 plays in. I think we're going to try to get to about 95 or 100 and then get out of here.
Anybody pop off right away that we didn't know about showing up?
No, you can see a little bit of speed with Tyrell Johnson, and he's been doing both football and track, so track's been good for him, keeping him in shape. And I think it's good for some of our other guys to get this game-type atmosphere, particularly some of the young guys on defense.
I think fans probably noticed right away the use of a tight end early on a little bit.
You know, there's been more catches by a tight end in this spring game maybe than the last 20 spring games combined, unless maybe when Gronk was here and maybe it broke. So they've caught a lot of balls. They're not just having them, we're using them. So it's been a lot of fun with that.
All right, great. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Well, Glenn Parker visiting with Coach Rodriguez, and Glenn very active still here in this University of Arizona program, lives here in town, proud alum. And, you know, Coach always looking at things from a variety of angles, some things he likes, some things that need to be improved upon. But Rich Rodriguez certainly has a fit here in Tucson, and more big things expected from this Wildcat program. Won the South, knocking off Arizona State at the end of the season. That's always a big win regardless. You know, Sun Devils and Wildcats go way back. Another overtime situation coming up here, but to get that one done, win the South, and then head to San Francisco to play Oregon in the Pac-12 championship game. And that's not the way you want to start an overtime possession, with a low snap that goes right through the legs of Randall. Coach liked that tight end, huh, Glenn?
Absolutely. I think, you know, you start seeing possibilities. What happens is defenses adjust to what you do. You have to figure out that next wrinkle. The next wrinkle for them might be the tight end in, creates mismatches on the perimeter, helps your run game. But then also, you know, some of the speed we're seeing out of some of these guys. Tyrell Johnson's one guy that, I mean, early on showed up. I think I don't think they want to show anybody any more of him. He looked too good.
No, that's you know, that's part of, you know, these, you know, spring games, is that, you know, this is the last piece of a defense in blue, offense wearing white. Is that, you know, this is the last piece, Glenn, that, you know, really the only piece that your opponent is going to get to lock onto and watch. for the duration.
That's right. What they'll be able to do is see some of your personnel. They're not going to get anything from to game plan on because you're not doing anything. They're going to go back to the last year's film, but they maybe look at a guy and say, hey, wow, this guy's could be a matchup problem here, or they'll glean a little bit from it.
Well, there were coaches just a couple years back when we started covering these spring games on the Pac-12 networks that I don't think thought all the way through that this is going to run, throughout, not only live, but then moving forward throughout the summers. And, there were some coaches that I had to rethink how many things we ran in that game, because it used to be that we just had our spring game and nobody saw it, so it didn't really matter what we run. If we're trying to do something a little new and give guys a look during, a game type situation, but coaches have certainly learned and shied away from that recently.
Well, yeah, and coaches by nature are a little paranoid. That's just who they are, and so this just added a little more to their plate to think about. And but you know what? The good coaches that have come through, and there's a lot of them in our conference for sure, they get what this really is for them, and this is an opportunity to showcase themselves, their coaches, their program, in a light that's very different than the average person gets to see them. And by average person, I mean recruit.
Sure.
Think about the future recruits out there that watch spring games on Pac-12 Network. They get to see a coach, how he acts in practice, how this tempo gets going, all those different things, and it's an opportunity for a head coach and his staff to kind of showcase themselves to future recruits who are probably unnamed at this point, but that kid now identifies, says, wow, look at, I like the way Sonny Dykes handled himself, or a Chris Peterson handled himself. That's what they can use this for.
Offenses working on overtime scenarios, starting from the 25. First string offense able to work a field goal out of it. Randall with the hot shot, misfires. And so another field goal attempt. So defense is winning out on this segment right now. Graybar. Ball's down, and Graybar with plenty of leg drills it. Holly Graybar, freshman from Reno, Nevada. And coaching continuing. Rod Smith with having a word. Randall showed some things. I'm sure there are a few he'd like to have back. But is all the part of spring, learning and figuring things out. Co-offensive coordinator in charge of the quarterbacks. And Coach Rodriguez shared a good story with us earlier in the week about how, we asked what got accomplished this spring or what was different than your previous ones, and he said, we hand out popsicles and not little ones. I mean, these are the real deal ones, and this year we ran out for the first time. That's never happened before, and he was tongue-in-cheek having some fun with it, but saying that the guys have really, enjoyed themselves, having fun with the tempo, and the success of the program, I think, has a lot to do with that. That now you're not coming in wondering if we can get some things done, if we can win and advance to championship games, but that's what we do here, and that raises the bar. But everybody around here is certainly fine with it. Third string versus third string in the overtime scenario. Dawkins, the quarterback who does not get the luxury of wearing the red jersey. Play action and flip it out. And didn't need much to get a first down, didn't get much. Looks like they're a bit short on the completion. And Morin's got the catch, and he's able to stretch. No, ball popped out. An offense right there to jump on it. 3rd and 1. Dawkins able to catch it with one hand. Nice fake, and goes right up the middle. Spins and stretches his way down to the 1. Good little fake, a nice read. Good spin right there, and they'll say knee down and stretch. Spot him at the 2. So can the third string offense against the third string defense do what the first and second strings couldn't do, and that's get a touchdown in the overtime situation? And the answer is yes. And so Dawkins able to hold it and keep it. So his legs were the difference in the drive. Solomon and Dawkins with a nice choreographed celebration. And I think these are some of the pieces that Glenn's talking about, that not only do you get to showcase a little bit of what you do offensively and defensively to kids out there watching this, but you get to see some of the interactions with players that could potentially be your teammates and how much fun they're having. You can see that a lot of enjoyment among these Arizona Wildcat players. There's Scooby Wright. Even though he didn't play much, he didn't skimp on the eye black. Scenario now, offense down by 3 in overtime. This tackle off the bump, and Hayden able to break a tackle and gain 4 after there wasn't much there at the start. Jonathan Hayden. Tucson all the way from Maryland. Solomon pressured and has to get rid of it. Does.
You know, again, the fans go, wait a minute, incomplete. Think about the smart play. He made the smart play. That's what coaches want. They know what a new Solomon can do. They want to see him take that next level. Great situation, awareness. Where's he got to go with the ball?
Well, yeah, and then you're looking here, situation overtime down by 3. Don't end the game for us too soon. Let's use all of our plays and see what we can get done. If it's not there, let's move on to the next one and see. Now you come right back and you have an opportunity to get a touchdown. Doesn't get completed right there, but a nice pass. And then again,
so what
you get
you're
Johnson
saying,
out there.
though, is like in a very tight game, right at the end, a really big game, don't make a decision that ends the game early for us, which I think a lot of people in the Pacific Northwest right now are regretting a decision that ended the Super Bowl a little too quick for them.
No, I understood. No, yeah. I understand that.
That's that ball just needs, there was plenty of real estate to the sideline. That ball just needs to get in there a little bit. You got to throw your guy open a little bit.
So in this situation, best they can do is tie it, but that's an ugly, ugly familiar sight to those here in Tucson. It's got to run wide right.
Kicking problems have haunted the Wildcats for many years. In this pass, you see all that room. There's a good 3-4 yards. That ball gets out there, give your receiver a little bit of chance at it. That's something that that he'll look at on film, and New Solomon will look at, and he'll go, I needed to do that better. I needed to be better there. And that's next level thinking. That's when you think, all right, now I know what I'm doing as far as the scheme and who I throw to, but can I anticipate those type of things and make the right throw into the little spaces?
Another set here. Overtime down by 3. Second string going to get the crack at it. Green with the carry. Zellers with the stop. Game just 1. So game situation overtime, and you're down by 3. So on that last situation for the first string, that would end up being an L.
That's right. Now take a look. Parker Zellers playing on the nose. 6'2", 247.
Well, there you go. That would be an easy one. Somebody forgot about Trevor Wood.
Yeah, you tight end shows up again. Arizona fans, I think, need to be a little excited. Another wrinkle to this offense. Mismatch problems. You get him in and nobody realizes he's in. What do you have? Do you have a linebacker on him? Do you have a safety on him? Those are the type of things defenses need to be careful of. And that's what, the more personnel combos you have in this offense, the tougher it is, because a mismatch happens and now the defense doesn't get a break. They can't get their people on the field because you're moving so fast. That's what they're looking to do.
Last year, Arizona, very successful season, and in this offense, big plays are a big part of it.
You know, they consistently had, as you said, those big plays. Samaje Grant with that one. Austin Hill, 92-yarder against UNLV. They broke that game open really early. They had big plays all year.
That's a quick way to chew up some yardage.
Yes, it is. Zach Wordlinger, again, no red jersey. Fair game. Helps your defense. Lets them tackle. You get a little timid. You know, 7-on-7, you don't tackle. You come out here in a spring game, you can't tackle quarterback, you don't hit. You get a little timid. You don't finish plays the way you should.
Good finish right there. Williams, you know, battling back from a knee injury, and somebody you put a star by and thinking that there's a guy who's going to need to have a nice impact coming in.
Yeah, if he can become the player they think he can, that upgrades their D-line in a hurry.
And those pieces of puzzle fumble, and the defense is going to have a stand and able to close it out. It's a defense in this situation, overtime down by 3. Doing a pretty good job. You know, we just had the one by the offense with the pass to the tight end one to the D. You said not timid on this one. Not timid. You get your running back out, but look at the close. Ball's too loose against his body. It gets nailed. Nice job of hitting the ball with your body and your helmet by Jarek Hilgers. Does a nice job. Pops that ball loose. Hey, man, defense gets some points. Got to know the situation, right? Keep the ball tucked. Keep it tight. You got to know the situation on defense. We got to get this ball back. We're facing a loss or a tie here. Let's get this ball back. Make a play. First string offense coming out now, and our scenario overtime still trailing by 8. So you need the score and the bonus.
Score and the bonus.
Well, the good part about this, Glenn, is you don't have to question what you're going to do.
No, you got to get in. You
got to get in, and we need 2.
You need that real estate. You got to gain ground. You just got 5 without any time going off the clock right there.
First string offense, defense. That's Williams.
Yeah,
just talking about him, weren't we?
How about Carter Wood, the center, just gets popped and falls over. I'm done. I'll take the 5.
First and 5 following the penalty. Solomon with the handoff. No dancing by these backs. It's one thing you notice when you watch them is that they get the ball Wood right there. That there's a move when you go.
Yeah, it's one cut, and so Zach Green right there. Whenever you run zone runs, and that's been true of all the Denver Broncos success with the guys they had. You tent stake that leg, you call it. So you're running, you tent stake the leg. It's one cut. You get through the line, and get the yardage that you can get, and it says something that Zach Green's running right now with the ones.
And Solomon going to the air and to the end zone. And it's a touchdown.
Jones.
Yeah, Jones.
Big target.
Yep.
Good
big time
throw.
player.
Yeah. So now can they get that 2-point conversions? The question, and my guess, they're going to have a run-pass option down here. You see this. A little pump. That ball comes out. Puts it, high points it, which is nice. Caleb Jones does a good job anticipating and going up for that ball, high pointing it, meaning at the top of his jump. So now my guess is you're going to see a run pass option, meaning it's still zone read, but do you give it or do you keep it and then you pass? We'll see. There's something very similar happened in the USC game where they didn't get the 2, which caused that game to extend. No run pass with that back out of
long time. And guess what? Right back where you went for the touchdown. Jones again, and you get the 2.
What do you know about the red zone? What do you know about end zone? Big guys win down there.
Yeah.
And that was a great job of, hey, you got a big wide receiver in Caleb Jones. Put the ball, let him win with his body. Great protection across the board. And he got down there, and as time was separated, he just used his body to separate a little bit, get that open window. I knew Solomon's smart enough to put it out there for him. That's a long throw for that quarterback.
Mm-hmm. So the line gets kudos on that one because he had plenty of time to stand back there and survey.
In my world, the line always gets kudos.
No, I understand.
Always.
I understand. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But okay. I'm a little more balanced.
See, if these are the gladiator games, the offensive line and defensive linemen, they're the gladiators. Everybody else out there are the aristocrats eating grapes and having fun. Linemen, offensive line, D-line, linebackers, they're the gladiators.
Glenn, you know I'll never argue with you.
Well, you have multiple times. You could try, but you couldn't be more wrong. That's all I'm going to say.
Dawkins burns that one. So more overtime again, trailing by 8.
Sir T. Jackson right there. There's a kid that has really shown up. Teammates talk about him. Coaches talk about him.
O'Day High School in Seattle, where they produce some great ones. They're down.
It's 4-down territory, obviously. You got to score a touchdown.
Need about 8.
I like the bring in big tight end.
Yeah, that's our guy Trevor Wood, just up the road in Scottsdale. Pressure and no place to go.
But wisely, you know, get out of bounds. You got one more down. See if you can get this done. Defense did a nice job locking down their coverage, putting pressure, getting up into Dawkins' face. Good situations. Again, Rich Rod trying to put pressure on his guys to make decisions in pressure situations, see how they respond.
4th and 11 in an overtime situation. Can't do that. Nothing to lose by just hoisting one up.
That's right. And there's where you're allowed to make a mistake.
Yeah, just give somebody a chance at a jump ball. Just throw it. There's Coach telling him just 4th down, just got to throw it.
Yeah, give a playmaker a chance to make a play.
If they intercepted it, the result's the same. They're going to win the games.
Interference, you
never know.
Interference, you live. There's a lot of things can happen out there. New Sullivan, Jared Randall talking over there.
Had some good choreographed celebrations here tonight. And quarterback and receiver and the rest of it. And
sure.
Talking when you are working your way between the field and the booth that, not only is it fun to look at what offenses and defense people run, but it's kind of fun to see how the guys get along with one another.
That's right. You see how they all get along because they've got a long season coming ahead. And when you look at 12 straight weeks of football, the non-conference, UT San Antonio, really well-coached team right there. Nevada, again, well-coached. Northern Arizona. But as you go down that line, it doesn't get easy for them.
Now, there will be challenges, but, you know that there always are. It's one of those parts that, you look at, for fans, it's always exciting. And from the coaching standpoint, look, the schedule's made. It is what it is. But, boy, somewhere at about, if it's early, coaches can work on things. If it's middle, that's fine. We can divide it up into it. If it's late, maybe we can get a little bit healthy. But, you look at going straight through, that's a pretty big test.
Yeah, can I just get a week off to get healthy? That's the main thing. Can I just
maybe even mentally, in as much physically. And
to have 12 straight weeks, no bye, that has to really gnaw at Rich Rodriguez. And you take a look at that, say going down, UCLA at Stanford's not easy. Oregon State, new coach, not going to be easy. Colorado getting better. Washington State at Washington, at USC, at Arizona State. No easy games in the Pac-12. I think fans are looking at a lot of those dates and going, all right, because fans are naturally just like players, just like coaches. You start looking, okay, we should win that one, that's a toss-up, we might lose that one, we got to win it. And so they're trying to count those wins. They're trying to see where they are. But one thing we learned from last year and all the crazy finishes and all the big plays is, you know, their teams, Arizona won the Pac-12 South. They won 10 games. They were, in reality, that was a team that could have won 6, could have won 10.
Sure.
They won enough of the close ones to get themselves up, and they probably could have won even more, obviously, you know, the USC kick, things like that. So you like to look at and be realistic on a future schedule when you're a fan and say, yeah, these are the ones we can win. The rest, you got to steal some. Just got to steal them.
Medina in at quarterback. Overtime situation. Arizona trailing by 8. And that'll be an easy advance into the end zone. Nice handoff there. Jarrett Mitchell.
Is that Okinawa? Japan.
And he's popular.
Yes, he is. Let's see what he does. Takes his hand off. Got good blocking.
Nick Wilson told Jill Savage, that's my man.
That's his
my man from Japan.
Decent blocking up front. All I got to do is get a little hole and get in. So now they got to run a 2-point play here to get that tie. But like you mentioned, you can't show too much. It's spring game. People are watching.
Two-point conversion now. And a quick sprint out and completion. Well done. Efficient.
Yeah, you know, I think Rich Rod likes what he's seeing overall. He's seeing good hustle out of everybody. He's seeing crisp attacks. He's his defense is around the field. You're not going to make every play out here because it's vanilla. It's easy. But I think he's probably pretty happy overall.
Well, and now here's a coach who understands a large part of what his job is. And that's, you know, to connect with the fans and, you know, let everybody know how important they are. And he's going to take this and stretch a little bit further.
You're telling me you're a kid who's being recruited. Maybe you're not being recruited yet. Maybe you're a freshman. You see this?
Okay.
You're on my radar.
Let me lay the ground rules out. This is the last play of the game. All right, the offense is going to be on the 4-yard line. You're going to have 6 choices. Here it comes. If you score, if your team scores a touchdown, everybody will clap for you. But if you don't, we're going to boo as loud as we can. And write about you in the newspaper. Try to get you fired from your job, all that kind of good stuff. Right?
So there's
these are special plays. Oh, look, this guy's already giving me plays.
He's got a play. He's got a plays that they get to point to.
Well,
sir, with your hands up.
Somebody was, you know, trying to give him the play walking up.
It's your birthday. Uh-oh. Well, hold on before you do that. Is it really your birthday? Tomorrow? Sunday. Okay. Okay, we got to sing happy birthday to John. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear John. Dear John, happy birthday to you. Turned 26 years old. Okay.
Not sure he's going to win America's Got Talent anytime soon.
Yes, sir.
You haven't been tailgating, have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So we can't have you guys have tailgated with the extra refreshments calling plays. That's bad enough. Okay. Offense is out there. Don't call it out because the defensive guys are listening. Just point to which one you think it'll work. We got all kinds of fun stuff right here. Go ahead. All right, Coach McGee, I'm going to come off the microphone. Get Coach McGee to call. Hold on. Good call here.
So we went to,
it looks like a reverse pass is what I think he went with.
I think he went to the far right. I think he went pick play.
Okay, all right.
We're going to find out here.
All right, it's time for that play.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Then everybody going to cheer, make you a hero, or I like the boo, and we'll write about you in the newspaper and try to get you fired from your job.
It's good play call, bad execution.
He's been on both sides of that,
nervous.
I think.
I'm nervous for you. Let's go score. We're confident. Let's go score. We're in.
And Solomon, there you go.
Great play.
Arizona.
You know what?
Grant with the catch.
I think you deserve a contract extension. Congratulations. Okay. Give me somebody over here. Come on, young lady. I hear a lot of ladies
college football's fun. College football spring games are fun too, aren't they?
Now, Coach Rodriguez and company working on making it fun, and this is a piece that'll probably get the most attention out of anything else that happened here tonight.
Most likely, and for good reason.
Sure.
Personality of the coach, people are out having fun. Fans have a reason to come down here and enjoy this.
Ray goes well, so I'm nervous.
That's his personality.
You got to remember which microphone to use.
I have a card for this one. This is the reverse pass. Okay, here we go.
What's your name? Perry? Coach Perry is calling this special play. Just drawn up 30 seconds ago.
So there you go. We get a reverse pass.
Who did you coach? She coached Kaylee Regal. He knows the Regal family, Coach Regal. This is one of Coach Regal's special plays.
That's the way to
He's even got
your,
some chaperone
coach
guys on the field
under,
right now. Here we go.
Under the bus a little bit.
Oh, there you go, Glenn. There's your little play. That's what you were talking about. Oh, they had it.
That's a great play call. Great play on defense. Boom. Let's blame Coach Regal for that.
And Ellison in the
Great
back
play
of the
by
end
the
zone.
defense. Great job. Okay, we got one more. I need a youngster. Is that Scooby?
Well, we're going to get some Hail Mary here in a minute, but here, how about this finish? You were here.
Yeah, the Hail Mary. A new Solomon rolls out. It's a design play. They practice it. Austin Hill did a great job keeping the defender's hands down at his side all the way down the field. Separated. Comes up with that ball. It was a huge finish to a great game. Unfortunate one team had to lose because that game was a special game.
Well, you know, you think plays like that, and what did that do to Cal's season? I mean, you just think of where they were and where you could have been moving forward, that, you know, what does that do to your season? And it's just one of those pieces that, you know, you're thrilled for Arizona, and you're thrilled for those kids.
Evans caught a great play.
Heartbreak for the Bears.
Are you nervous? No? Here, hold on a second.
Oh, here we go. I think, I'm being told, I think he went double screen.
If it doesn't work,
so what you're going to see
McGee,
is
that's what I
offensive
do.
linemen will split. One side will go one way, one side will go the other. They'll fake one way and go the other.
Here it goes.
So you see all those linemen to the left, they ran the screen. Linemen
We
to the
can't
right.
end on that. Hey, Coach McGee, put the ones back in there. We're going to run one more play.
You got to give that guy another chance, right?
I'd like to tell you, great job.
So when all your offensive linemen go to one side, you're hoping the defense follows and reacts. Defense didn't react. They were ready for that.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm looking. Right there. Come here. Wildcat fan, come on over here. You got to be close to me so I can punch you in the chest if you don't screw up. What's your name?
Dave Fisher.
Dave, come on over here. Coach, I need to first group up. Coach Castile, get your second group up there. Use this one.
He's taking his time. He's looking at them.
I think Coach is helping on what's already been run.
Yeah, we've run these. So I like that double move. I like that. We call it the whip route. You know what? DBs call it a jerk route because it makes you look like a jerk.
I can't use that one. We've already used the reverse pass, Coach Regals, and it didn't work. So next. Okay, I think that's pretty good. All right, Coach McGee. We got rip hip, local snail.
All right, they're running the crack play. What that is,
I'm a little nervous.
you can bring a guy in motion. Well,
Tailgating?
If it's toss crack, you bring a guy, you get the edge that way.
Dave over here was tailgating. That's why he had a bad play call.
Some people call it because you run your inside
Everybody watch
guy
this.
out and around.
Put it on the quarterback. The quarterback's got 3 decisions to make.
And Dawkins will have those 3 decisions.
Did he get in?
No.
No!
Now, stop short. Well short.
Wait a minute. Review. Replay review.
Zach
Play it
Green,
again.
big body, got him a couple, didn't get him enough.
Okay, one more. Last one. Did he get in? No,
Green.
he didn't get in.
Good defensive play.
I want a young lady. Give me a young. No, I'm younger. Somebody under the age, grade school age. Over here. Come on.
You can see
I think some of the young ladies
how
will do a
he's
better
come
job.
in so
Sure.
fast that he's been able to captivate the Tucson fan. He's got a personality. He gets out with these people. He's always got a word for them.
Right, here
Matt
you go.
Dudek, the guy holding that, he's the recruiter extraordinaire. When you follow him on Twitter,
Listen,
you will see
you don't have a whole lot of standards to
incredible
hold up
stuff
to.
come
The
across.
last 3 have been awful. What's your name?
Sydney.
Sydney. Okay, Sydney, you can pick something out of that, or just say, I don't care, and Matt will call the play. But don't let him do that. I've seen him call him.
So you just pick any of these?
Yeah, any of these, other than the reverse pass, because that one didn't work once.
Okay. Why does that one have a red X on it?
Because it worked.
Oh, okay, let's do that one.
Okay, oh, shh.
Oh, I think they narrowed it down for the defense.
Are you ready, Coach McGee? Who's the quarterback? Make sure he makes it out.
I love it that he's bound and determined to end on a good one.
Yes, he is. It's like when you're a kid and you play basketball.
Sure, of course.
You're going to
of
make
course.
that shot.
You have to make the last one.
Hold on. Everybody, let's cheer for Sydney. Let's get up on your feet. The game is on the line.
All
the
right.
last play of the game.
Randall and the
We're too close
Wildcats.
to do the Hail Mary, but here she goes. Everybody up. A lot of pressure. Here it is, Sydney. It's all on you.
Hayden
Did
in
you
the
make
back.
the play call? Oh, there he's wide open. Touchdown!
They got the corner and the pylon.
I think they designed that for Randall to just take it. The DBs are going to squat on this. We better just get in. Randall showed some speed.
Well, they worked at it, and they worked at it. And they got the corner, the pylon, and the 6. Here's the celebration. Entertaining evening here in Tucson, and the Wildcats got some good work done.
Good work done. And came out healthy. That's the most important thing. Spring fling going on, so the athletes all have some fun.
And then we'll have fall camp, and then we'll get into the season.
Into the season, and it's a grind for the Wildcats. 12 straight weeks. Everybody has a tough Pac-12 season. But to have to do it without a bye makes it that much tougher. But we've seen Rich Rod work a lot of magic with this team so far.
That was certainly fun here and great interaction with the fans at the end. Scooby Wright and company and some souvenirs and a night to remember. We will send most of you to the Sun Devil Football Fan Fest in